What up folks, welcome back to another tutorial of Python, and in this tutorial we are going to learn about function definition and arguments. So to learn about this thing, first draw a context. So let's draw it. We are going to take a variable which is num1 and take a value of 56, and after that we are going to take another variable which is 14 num2, and we are going to actually find the sum of these two. So we are going to say num1 plus num2, and we are going to print the sum here. So basically what it does is that the sum will actually take the values of the num1 and num2, I mean the added value of num1 and num2. So if we right now say python main.py into a command or terminal prompt, then it will print out the value of 70. So you can actually put any of your values in any of your expected values according to your own wish. And right now, you know what, these lines of codes are there to do something, printing out the sum of these two values, right? So we can actually put this inside a function. So I want to tell you guys here is that functions are there to encapsulate or to bind some lines of code which are there or which are intended for doing something. Over here, these lines of codes are intended to print out the sum of these two values. So we can actually put them inside a function. So to start with the function, we are going to say, since it is calculating the sum, right? So it's better that if you were putting a verb as a prefix of the name of the function. So I'm gonna say calculate and sum, and you put parentheses which will be there. After that you're going to put your colon and go to the next slide, click enter. Right now copy all of this line. I will just simply cut them, and I will go to the indentation, next indentation, and paste it here. I will align them into the same line. I will have something like that. I hope that's okay. Right now we have actually defined a function which is having these two variables, and it also taking this sum. Also it is printing out this, but there is a thing that we have to consider. If we run this right now, nothing will happen. You can see that no values have been printed out. Why is it happening? Because we have only defined the function with the definition, but we haven't called it yet. So to call this, we will simply go back to another new line, and we will say calculate sum, and we will simply put the parentheses. That's it. Right now, first we have defined the function. Right now over here we are actually calling the function. So right now this will actually print out the value. If we go back to our terminal and say python main.py, and you can see that the values has been printed out. Isn't it awesome? You can actually do a lot of things with the function. There can be like a lot of codes which are repeated multiple times or dozens of times inside your code. That time what happened is that you can actually use the functions to minimize the repetition. Right now we are going to actually work with the argument. You can see there are some problems with this. We are actually printing out the added value of num1 and num2, but what if we want to change those values of this num1 and num2? This is really a complex situation. No, it is not. It is a really solution. There is a really solution for it. So to do this, we are going to first delete these two, and right now inside the functions parentheses we are going to simply say num1 num2. So these are num1, num2, two variables or two parameters of this function definition. What it means that these are the two values which are mutable, or it has the value can be changed from time to time. I will give an example later on. Let's see. So over here we are taking num1, num2, and we are taking the sum, I mean the added values of these two. And right now the main game is here. You're going to say, you can see that calculate sum num1 and num2. So we are having the calculate sum. If we simply right now run our program python main.py over here, it will give an error. You can simply that calculate sum is missing two required positional arguments. So we are missing these two arguments. We need to put the value of them. So we will say for the num1 it's 67, and for the num2 we will say 33. Right now if we go back, first clear the screen with the CLS, and we are going to say python main.py, and it's printing out the value 100. I think we're done with this, but we want to do something more complex, a bit advanced. For example, this one is printing out this value, right? 100. But you know, we don't want this print function to be there. We just want to return a value of this function. So to do this, we will simply say return sum. So first, for these two parameters, this will be actually, this sum will be adding these two values, then it will return the sum for this calculate sum function. Right now what we are going to do, okay, we are not gonna do anything. We are just simply saying return sum. We have deleted the print sum function. So according to as you expect, right now the print sum is not there, so it is not gonna print out any line, isn't it? Of course it is. So we will save it, clear the screen for your better visibility, and we will print out python main.py. You can see that nothing is being printed out. Why it's happening? Because when we are actually calling this function over here, these two arguments are there, and this function itself returning a value, but it is not telling to print a value, right? So this function itself a value right now, so we can actually print that value, print, and we will put this entire function inside the parenthesis of the print. Save that and run it. You can see right now that the value has been printed out. Into the next tutorial we are going to learn about arguments. Okay guys, if you like the video, if you understand, even if you don't understand, comment into the comment section, subscribe, thumbs up. See you into the next tutorial.